Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai kshiptashta kamani tarangamadye kripa maitam sharanam prapana vrinde namaste charana ravindam jam pravajantananu petra kritam dhaipayano virakatara juava putre tritam mardhayotarabo bhinedus tam sarvabhutam hridayam munimanatosmi Vanchakalpataruvesya kripasindhuveva cha patidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. First of all, I want to offer my humble obeisances millions of times to the lotus feet of my divine spiritual master. Nityalila pravisto om vishpa pramahans paribraja pachari asatara satrishimabhaktirantara rango samarash.
首先咧，想向我呢個神聖嘅靈性導師啦，Nityalila pravisto om vishpa pramahans satrishimabhaktirantara rango samarash，即係我哋嘅古魯地致敬點解。
And second, I want to offer my respected Dandava pranams to my spiritual guardians.
其次咧，我想向我靈性嘅係監護人佢哋咧係致敬點拜嘅。
Shripad Pravananda Prabhu Brahmachari.
Shripad Pravananda Prabhu 精受生。
Shripad Bhaktivedanta Tirtha Maharaj.
Shripad Bhaktivedanta Tirtha Maharaj.
And Srimad Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj.
同埋咧，Srimad Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj.
And I want to offer my humble obeisances to all the devotees here assembled.
同埋咧，我想向今日到嚟嘅奉獻者們以及賓客們致敬頂拜嘅。
Nanda pranams.
Dandava pranams.
So today we are discussing
咁今日我哋將會去討論到咧，
about the essence of all the Vedas.
去討論到所有偉大經典嘅精華。
How Gurudev has explained.
我哋嗰啲去解釋到啦。
Can these two ladies sit here?
呢兩位女士們可唔可以坐過嚟呢邊啊？坐呢邊好唔好？
Please, can you come and sit here?
或者呢下可以坐前少少。
Or there?
坐過。
Closer here.
呢
In
邊
front.
坐呢邊。
Come, please here.
我想见到你们。
Don't be afraid. So, actually the Vedas I described this morning.
今天早上咧，我已經描述過啦，呢個偉達經咧。
The Vedas are The Vedas are
偉達經係咩咧？
Vyasadeva, he compiled all the Vedas.
唯有薩佢編撰咗所有嘅偉達經典。
These very ancient scriptures.
係一本非常之係古老嘅經典嚟嘅。
But these Vedas, I described this morning, there are 4 goals of human life.
但係今天我早上描述過啦，呢個偉達經典裏邊咧係描述到4個人類生命嘅目標嘅。
It describes these 4 goals and how to follow these 4 goals properly.
同埋佢首先係描述咗啦，界定咗4個目標啦，同埋點樣去正確地咧嚟到去跟隨佢嘅。
With the prescribed duties and the prescribed dharma to follow all these 4 goals.
通過呢一啲固定嘅責任啦，同埋固定嘅宗教法咧，嚟到去達到呢4個目標。
The 4 goals are come, desires.
呢4個目標，第一個叫做咧係慾望啦。
The second goal of human life is artha, economical development.
第二個目標係人類嘅目標係叫做咧係經濟嘅發展 artha。
The third goal of human life described in the Vedas is the dharma, religiosity, not nitya dharma, not the eternal function of the soul, but the religiosity like rituals and prescribed duties.
咁咧第三個咧就叫做係 dharma， 就唔係呢個永恆嘅宗教法，唔係靈魂永恆嘅天職，而係咧嗰個嘅係一啲世俗嘅宗教啊、一啲儀式啊等等嘅嘢。
And the fourth goal is called salvation or liberation.
第四個就叫做救贖或者係解脫。
So in these four goals, actually the human cannot be fully satisfied.
咁喺呢四個人類目標裏邊，事實上人類咧係唔能夠完全嘅滿足嘅。
In the Vedic scriptures, it describes that there's the impersonal aspect of God.
喺維道嘅文獻裏邊咧，有講到咧神嘅非人格嗰一面嘅。
Like the light,
譬如好似一道白光咁樣，
the spiritual energy.
呢種靈性嘅能量啊咁樣。
And it is also described but it's also described the personal aspect of God.
與此同時，維達經亦都有描述到咧神嘅人格性嗰一面嘅。
There's the impersonal aspect and the personal aspect of God.
有兩面，一邊係神嘅非人格性嗰邊，另一邊係神嘅人格性嘅一面。
So actually, sometimes when there's a small baby, a boy or a girl,
其實有時咧，當一個小朋友咧，一個無論係男仔或者女仔 BB 仔咧，
and they talk to him about the sun,
當我哋講到咧關於太陽嘅時候咧，
then he will, when he sees the light coming in the window, he will think that this is the sun.
咁當佢見到咧陽光從呢個窗口處照入嚟嘅時候咧，可能呢個 BB 仔咧會以為咧呢個就係陽光嚟㗎啦。
But as he gets older, they teach him no, actually the sun is a body.
咁但係當佢哋咧係即係再大嗰啲嘅時候，佢哋會教俾呢個男仔知道，唔係太陽咧係一個球體嚟㗎。
And from this body, all the sun, the light emanates.
咁從呢個球體嗰處咧，就流生無盡咁多陽光嘅光線。
So in the same way, the light is this impersonal Brahman or Brahmajyoti is the goal of many impersonal schools, spiritual schools.
咁首先嚟講咧，喺好多非人性嘅學説嚟講咧，佢哋嘅目標咧就係呢度非人性嘅靈性嘅光芒。
This is called liberation.
咁佢哋追求嘅係希望得到解脫
or salvation.
或者救贖。
But when you merge into this light,
好啦，但係當你咧融匯進呢度嘅光芒裏邊嘅時候，
your individual identity cease to be.
咁嘅時候咧，你就會停止咗咧你自己咧嗰個嘅係個人個別嗰個嘅身份㗎啦。
The Vaishnavas describe how we have an eternal spiritual body, an eternal form. Vaishnava
奉獻者嘅學説解釋到啦，我哋點樣係有一個咧永恆嘅靈性嘅形象嘅。
But it's in seed form.
但係呢個靈性形象而家咧係處於一個種子嘅階段。
So when we merge into this light, what happens is that seed is destroyed.
咁當你咧係用呢個光芒裏邊嘅時候咧，你嗰粒種子咧就消滅咗啦，毀滅咗。
So in this way, in the Vedas, it is described that it was not described. There's only these four human goals of life.
咁所以咧呢個嘅係《韋達經》裏邊只係描述到咧呢四個人類生命嘅目標。
So Vyasadeva, the compiler of all the Vedas, was not happy in his heart.
咁所以維亞薩啦呢個四部《韋達經》嘅編撰者，佢內心裏邊咧係並唔開心嘅。
Because he did not write about the highest and topmost human goal of life.
因為佢並冇咧嚟到描述到咧係最至高無上嘅人類生命嘅目標。
Which is prema.
咁呢一樣嘢叫 prema， 對神純粹嘅愛。
Is pure love.
純粹嘅愛。
Spiritual love.
係靈性嘅愛㗎。
And this spiritual love is actually beyond liberation and beyond oneness with God.
咁咧呢種嘅靈性嘅愛，事實上嚟講係超越咗咧解脫啦，同埋超越咗咧同神嘅合一嘅。
So just like the little boy, when he grew, he understood that the light, the sun, is coming from a body called the sun.
咁正如個小朋友佢大個咗之後，佢知道陽光咧係來自呢個叫做太陽呢個球體嘅。
Similarly, sometimes when we are very young, like babies spiritually,
有時候同樣啦，當我哋嘅靈性上咧好似一個 BB 仔嘅時候咧，
we cannot perceive the divinity of God that exists within that light.
咁我哋就唔能夠咧喺嗰度光線裏邊嚟講咧，去覺知到咧神嘅神性嗰一面。
But as we progress spiritually, God will reveal that He has a transcendental spiritual form.
咁但當我哋喺靈性上咧嚟到係去發展去進步嘅時候咧，神就會向我哋揭示到咧佢呢個嘅超然嘅形象嗰一面。
A personal form from which that all light emanates.
佢有一個人格性嘅形象咧，從嗰個人格性形象咧，所有嘅光咧係從佢嗰處流生而嚟嘅。
And this personal form is Purna Ananda. It's full of transcendental spiritual bliss.
咁呢一個嘅係靈性嘅形象叫 Purna Ananda，即係充滿住咧超然嘅靈性喜樂。
So by developing relationship with God,
咁通過同神咧係發展出呢個關係嘅話咧，
one can attain the highest goal of humanity, which is prema, love.
一個人能夠達到咧係人類生命最高嘅目標咧就係對神嘅愛。
And this fifth goal is actually not described in the Vedas.
咁事實上呢個第5個目標咧喺《韋達經》裏邊咧係並冇描述到嘅。
And this is why Vyasadeva was not satisfied in his heart after compiling all the Vedas.
所以點解韋達薩咧喺佢編撰咗所有《韋達經》之後嚟講咧，佢仍然都係唔開心嘅。
Actually, he was depressed.
事實上嚟講係感覺到非常之失落。
And this is why his Gurudev Narada Muni told him, if you do not speak about bhakti,
所以佢靈性導師那拉德穆尼同佢講，佢話：如果你唔去講及到關於奉愛白鐵嘅話，
if you don't speak about prema,
如果你唔講到純愛 prema，
then your heart can never ever be happy.
由此嘅時候，你嘅心係永遠唔會係開心嘅。
It will just be dry.
你只會裏邊係好枯燥、好乾、枯燥一啊。
And in this way, he heard all these pastimes, divine pastimes of Lord Krishna.
就咁樣嘅時候咧，佢哋都係去聽到一切關於 Krishna 嘅超然逍遙時光，
from his lotus mouth,
從佢嘅蓮花口處聽到啦。
and he became in Bhakti Samadhi Yoga,
咁佢進入咗呢個 Bhakti 奉愛嘅神分嘅瑜伽裏邊，
and he realized all these pastimes, and he wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam, the 12 cantos.
咁佢咧就講完晒所有啲逍遙時光，然之後就寫下咗咧呢個12篇嘅聖典波加雅壇。
Which is actually the essence of all the Vedas.
咁事實上原來係所有嘅係韋達經裏邊嘅精華嚟嘅。
And it's the commentary of Vyasadeva.
咁呢一個咧就係咧就係韋達薩嘅對韋達經嘅評論嚟嘅，呢個係。
Because it's the ripe fruit of all the tree of Vedic literature.
因為咧喺呢個韋達文獻啊呢棵樹裏邊咧最成熟嘅一粒嘅果實㗎啦。
It is pure prema.
咁樣就係純粹嘅愛。
It describes pure love.
講到純粹嘅愛嘅。
For God.
對神嘅。
So in this way, we started describing the different levels of bhaktas, devotees that exist.
然之後咧咁樣嘅時候，我哋開始描述到咧各種唔同層次嘅奉獻者啦。
We talked about Dhruva Maharaj.
今朝早上我哋講過道華大君啦。
He had many material desires mixed with his bhakti.
佢有好多物質慾望混雜住咧佢個奉愛嘅。
Mixed with his devotion to God.
佢對神嘅奉愛咧係混雜咗好多物質慾望。
This is not pure.
咁樣又唔純粹嘅。
This is actually God, Krishna, was tired of people doing so much devotion to attain material desires.
事實上咧，神啊對於一啲人如果去做呢個奉獻嘅服務咧，希望去滿足自己物質慾望嘅話，神對呢一類嘅人士咧會感覺到厭倦嘅。
And for this reason, he asked Shiva, Mahadev, he said, please, I want you to invent one philosophy in which you say that I'm God, we're all one.
咁因為咁嘅緣故咧，神咧就叫咗司威神咧去發明咗一套呢套哲學，喺呢套哲學裏邊，第二就係話咧，你係神，我係神，大家都係神嚟嘅。
Aham brahmasmi, aham brahmasmi.
Aham brahmasmi.
But he said, no, I cannot do this. How can I do this? No, I can never say this. How can I say we're all one, we're all God, we're all one?
但係司威神就話佢唔得，我點可以做呢樣咁嘅嘢咧？我點樣同啲人講話大家都係神啊咁樣，我害咗佢哋。
He said all the great demons in the world, very powerful kings, they do bhakti and they ask for remuneration.
咁佢話咧，世上咧有好多呢啲咁樣大惡魔啊，呢啲國王嚟講咧，佢哋做呢個奉愛bhakti，但係佢哋做咗之後咧，佢哋希望有個回報嘅。
And if anybody does bhakti, I'm bound to reward them accordingly.
但係如果有冇人一做呢個奉愛bhakti嘅時候咧，我就責無旁貸咧，我一定會回報佢嘅。
So I want you write about this philosophy. We're all God, we're all one. In this way, nobody will have to pray for me anymore for material things because they'll think I'm God, no need to pray to God.
咁所以佢話咧，我想你咧，你發明咗呢套嘅哲學咧，就係話咧，大家都係神。如果我係神嘅時候咧，咁使乜同神祈禱咧？咁樣，我想你發明呢一套哲學出嚟。
So he wrote this Vedanta
咁所以咧，
Sutra.
咁呢一個嘅係司威神就寫咗呢個 Who wrote it？邊一首書啊
Shankaracharya.
Shankaracharya 呢個咁樣嘅係三家師咧就寫咗呢個終極偉陀。
Shiva, one incarnation of he came like one incarnation of Krishna. He came like Shankaracharya. He preached all this philosophy.
咁呢個斯威神一個法師叫雙極樂山卡斯咧，就傳播呢一門咁樣嘅哲學嘅。
And he was so sad in his heart that he did this.
咁佢做咗之後，佢內心裏邊咧係非常之嘅悲傷嘅。
But it was the order of Krishna.
但係其實呢個咧係Krishna 嘅一個命令嚟。
And then in Padma Purana, he describes to his wife Parvati.
然之後向呢一個嘅宇宙古書嘅蓮花之寶咧，佢同佢個妻子帕瓦提咁樣描述到。
He says, "My dear Parvati."
佢話親愛嘅帕瓦提啊。
This theory, which is actually non-Vedic.
咁呢一套嘅理論事實上嚟講咧係非韋陀嘅。
Which is not derived from the Vedas, but it's all a concocted speculation.
其實咧並非咧係來自呢個咁樣嘅韋達嘅，而係原來咧全部係呢一個咁樣嘅係虛構出嚟嘅推敲嚟嘅。
It is I, he said, who have created this.
係我啊，即係斯威神係我咧嚟到創造住呢一套嘅哲學嘅。
He said very sadly, and this is the cause, the root cause of the world's. Please turn on your phones for 1 hour.
唔該，大家將手機閂埋1個鐘頭時間，唔好聽住。
He said this is the root cause of destruction of the whole world.
佢話咧呢一個哲學咧，其實原來咧係整個世界咧毀滅嘅根源嚟嘅。
So in this way, Shiva is admitting in the Padma Purana that actually he wrote this and it's non-Vedic and is actually destroying the world. 斯威神事實上咧喺呢個宇宙古史普拉呢個蓮花之寶裏邊咧係承認咗自己係寫呢個啦呢套哲學。But at the end of his sutra, his commentary, Vedanta Sutra, he said, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda. Oh, just worship Govinda, worship Govinda, worship Govinda. Oh, fools, just worship Govinda. 但係咧喺呢一個嘅咁樣嘅係即係終極委託嘅評論裏邊嚟講咧，最尾嘅時候佢自己咁樣寫：哦，蠢材啊！你只係Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda啫，你只係崇拜 Govinda 啦。He said this jugglery of words will not help you at the time of death. 佢話咧，你呢個咁樣嘅文字遊戲啊，喺死亡嘅時候咧係幫你唔到嘅。So just worship Govinda, worship Govinda, worship Govinda. 因此佢俾咗呢個訓示，佢講咗3次，只係崇拜 Govinda, 崇拜 Govinda, 崇拜 Govinda. So in this way, Krishna is very merciful. 由此嘅時候 ，Krishna 係非常之恩慈啦。And he has given us this Srimad Bhagavatam. 佢就俾咗我哋呢部聖典《博伽雅壇》。Which is actually beyond these 4 goals of human life. 咁聖典《博伽雅壇》事實上咧係超越咗咧4個人類生命嘅目標㗎。Srimad Bhagavatam Pramalam Amalam Prema Pumarthomaham. The supreme artha goal of human life is prema. 咁生命裏邊咧至高無上目標就係對神純粹嘅愛 prema。And this is all described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. 喺聖典《博伽雅壇》全部咧就只係描述呢一樣嘢。So we talked about the Bhakta called Dhruva Maharaj, also about Prahlad Maharaj. 我哋今朝講過啦，道華大君啦，第2個奉獻者叫Prahlada大君。Who is Gyani Bhakti? Where's Hari? Hari Mohini? Yes. Hari Mohini喺邊度 ？She's helping in the kitchen. Oh. She's helping in the kitchen. 唔使啦，唔使，聽唔到。你試下，你攞出嚟。今日仲用佢揾緊揾。It's okay. Where's she going? She's trying to get a microphone for him to hear. Oh, so she could listen. In the kitchen. Okay. Okay. So in this way. 如此嘅時候咧。So in this way, now we're starting, we talked about Dhruva Maharaj, which is the Bhakta, which had material desires. 首先嚟講咧，我哋講到係道華大君咧，佢係一個咧有物質慾望嘅奉獻者嚟嘅例子嚟嘅。Then we also talked about Prahlad Maharaj, which is a Gyani Bhakta. 然之後咧，我哋都講到呢個Prahlada大君咧，佢叫 Gyani Bhakta. Bhakta means devotee.
Bhakta 即係佢嘅奉獻者嚟嘅。
And this Gyani Bhakta, we said he has so much knowledge about the opulence of God.
我哋叫佢做 Gyani 知識嘅奉獻者，即係話咧，佢對於神嘅賦予咧有好多個知識，呢一類奉獻者叫做 Gyani Bhakta。
And for this reason, there is no service.
因為呢個原因咧，佢對於神嘅賦予有呢個知識嘅緣故咧，佢係冇服務做嘅。
So higher than him is actually called the Shuddha Bhakta, the pure devotee.
比佢更高嘅，事實上就叫做純粹奉獻者 Shuddha Bhakta。
And this is called Ambarish Maharaj.
今朝我哋預告過，佢名字叫安巴里沙大君。
Ambarish Maharaj was a king.
Ambarish 咧係一個國王嚟嘅。
He had a very powerful kingdom.
佢有一個非常之係強大嘅國土。
He had so many palaces and so many queens and so many servants and followers.
好多嘅呢個咁樣嘅係國土啦、皇后啦、皇宮啦，同埋咧好多嘅僕人嘅。
He had unlimited richness.
佢有無盡咁多嘅富裕。
But he was a pure devotee of the Lord.
但係與此同時咧，佢係主嘅一個純粹奉獻者嚟嘅。
He worshipped the transcendental form didi of Krishna.
佢崇拜 Krishna 呢個超然嘅形象。
This was Brajendrarandana Krishna with a flute.
呢個咧都係咧華贊王之子喎，Brajendrarandana有吹着笛子嗰個 Krishna。
And he used all his senses in the service of the Lord.
咁佢咧用佢所有嘅感官咧，全部咧係從事咧係對於主嘅服務裏邊㗎。
He used his eyes only to see the form of the Lord.
佢用佢眼睛只係咧去睇咧主嘅形象嘅。
He used his nose only to smell the fragrance of the tulsi offered to the feet of Krishna.
佢用佢個鼻哥只係去聞過咧一啲供奉過俾 Krishna 蓮花竹嘅圖拉樹嗰個嘅芬芳。
He used his ears only to hear Harikatha.
佢用佢耳朵咧只係嚟到關於主哈利嘅命題 Harikatha。
He used his mouth only to speak Harikatha and to take eating, honoring Mahaprasada.
佢用佢個係呢個舌頭咧，只係咧嚟到係講 Harikatha 啦，同埋咧嚟到係去榮耀呢個 prasadam 嘅。
He used his feet only to go to Parikama to the sacred places.
佢用佢個腳咧，只係走路去啲聖地嗰度。
And he used his hands to decorate and to serve the didi.
咁佢用佢嗰個嘅係手咧嚟到係去幫神像穿戴啦，同埋咧係去服務神像嘅。
And his knees, he would on his knees clean the floor of the temple room. He would do all the services.
佢甚至乎咧作為國王，佢會自己親自咧係彎低揾個膝頭哥嗰處咧嚟到去抹地都會㗎。
So he is Shuddha Bhakta, pure devotee.
因此咧，佢就係純粹嘅奉獻者 Shuddha Bhakta。
In this way, he used all his senses in the service of the Lord.
由此嘅時候，佢用晒所有感官咧，用咗喺主嘅服務當中。
Actually, he is a Bhakta. He's a devotee.
事實上咧，佢係 Bhakta，佢係奉獻者嚟㗎。
And Prahlad Maharaj is a Mahabhagavat.
但係呢個帕拉達大君咧係一個馬哈巴嘅核喎。
Mahabhagavat is very high thing.
馬哈巴嘅核係非常之高嘅喎。
But in this case, Ambarish Maharaj is higher than him.
但係喺咁嘅情況之下咧，安巴里沙大君咧，佢比帕拉達大君仲要高。
Why? Because
點解咧？因為咧
he's higher because his Ishtadev, his deity of worship, is actually higher.
咁佢之所以高嘅原因咧，因為咧佢崇拜嘅神明咧叫 Ishtadev 咧係更高嘅。
Prahlad Maharaj's deity was Narasinghadev.
帕拉達大君嘅神像就係咧係 Narasinghadev 尼拉星哈本人本師。
And Ambarish Maharaj's deity of worship was Krishna Brajendrarandana Krishna.
帕拉達大君崇拜嘅神像就係華贊王之子 Brajendrarandana Krishna 嘅。
And also he has so much service mood.
同埋咧，帕拉達對唔住，安巴里沙大君咧，佢有好多嘅服務嘅心水嘅。
Whereas Prahlad Maharaj did not have service.
但係呢個帕拉達大君咧，佢哋並冇呢個服務嘅。
So in this way, he's higher.
咁如此嘅時候咧，佢係更高嘅。
So one time he observed Ekadashi very, very strictly.
有一次，安巴里沙大君咧，佢好嚴謹咁跟從一個伊卡利士。
Ekadashi is the day of Eka is 1 and Das is 10.
伊卡利士 Eka 即係1 Das 即係10。
So this means 11.
10加1即係11啦。
11 days after the full moon or after the new moon, this is called Ekadashi.
咁喺呢個新月或者滿月之後嘅第11天咧，咁嗰一日咧就叫伊卡利士啦。
So in this very auspicious day, we do not eat grains.
喺呢一個今場嘅日子嚟講咧，我哋唔會食呢個五穀㗎。
Because it is actually the mother of bhakti.
原來嗰一日第11日嚟講咧，係呢個 Bhakti 奉我嘅母親嚟㗎。
Many people follow Ekadashi because they think, I will get free from millions of sins from many millions of lives.
好多人跟隨而家嘅事，諗住咧係啦，我可以咧免除咗咧千生萬世以嚟咧億億萬萬咁多嘅罪惡嘅反應嘅。
And it is true, Ekadashi will, if you follow Ekadashi, you are purified from millions, even of the worst and most sinful act, it will be destroyed.
咁事實上係真嘅。如果你跟住而家嘅事嘅話咧，就算咧你啲最大惡極、萬惡不赦嘅罪咧，都會被消滅咗嘅。
But Gurudev has explained that we don't follow Ekadashi for that reason.
但係Gurudev解釋到咧，我哋跟而家嘅事咧，唔係為咗呢個原因去跟隨。
We follow Ekadashi for bhakti.
我哋跟隨呢個而家嘅事咧，係為咗呢個 bhakti 奉愛嘅緣故，我哋去跟隨嘅。
To attain bhakti.
去達到 bhakti.
That every effort we do, every sadhana, every work should be only with one intention.
咁我哋所做嘅任何嘢咧，只係應該係懷著咧一個嘅咁樣嘅動機嘅。
And that is to attain bhakti.
就係話咧，去達到呢個 bhakti。
So in this way, this king he was following Ekadashi very strictly.
而此嘅時候咧，呢國王咧，佢就好嚴謹地跟隨呢個Ekadashi。
And he was not even eating anything. He would just follow the nirjal, means not even water.
咁佢咧唔單止咩都唔食啦，咁佢跟隨呢種Ekadashi咧叫 nirjala，即係話咧連水一滴水都唔飲嘅。
Then his wife was very qualified also.
與此同時，佢亦都有個非常之深具資格嘅妻子。
His queen.
呢位皇后。
She also did the nirjala Ekadashi very strictly every 2 weeks, approximately every 2 weeks.
咁呢個皇后亦都係咧每大概2個星期咧，佢係做一個好嚴謹嘅Ekadashi嘅誓言嘅。
So in this way, he was observing this fast, and then came, but the next day there's a time called Param.
咁咧就如此嘅時候咧，佢跟隨呢個Ekadashi啦。但係當你跟隨Ekadashi之後咧，第2天咧有段時間，呢個時候叫做 Param。
And at this time you have to break your Ekadashi.
呢個時候即係話咧，嗰段時候咧，你要破你嘅禁食㗎。
So if you don't break it in the timings that they give you, you are disrespecting Ekadashi. 如果你唔喺呢個嘅係即係固定嘅時間去破呢個禁食嘅話咧，你要對構成咧對Ekadashi嘅唔尊重嘅。So for this reason, what happened is that it was the time to break the Ekadashi. 因為呢個原因啦，嗰個正係佢要係破Ekadashi嘅時候，有啲咩事情發生到咧 ？So at that time, he first gave food served to all the Brahmins assembled, all the priests first, and then he would break the Ekadashi. 往常嘅做法咧，佢就會首先餵飽咗其他嘅婆羅門，跟隨Ekadashi嘅婆羅門先餵飽佢哋之後咧，然之後佢自己先至嚟到破呢個Ekadashi嘅。But actually came uninvited one Muni called Durvasa Muni. 但係喺嗰一次嘅時候咧，嚟咗一個不速之客喎，一個並冇邀請嘅聖人到嚟啦。咁佢叫做咧係 Durvasa Muni。He is a very powerful Muni, sage. 佢係一位非常之有力量嘅聖人。Yogi. 聖人嚟係一個瑜伽師嚟嘅。Most of the yogis they practice yoga to attain mystic perfection, mystic powers. 大多數嘅瑜伽師佢哋修習呢個瑜伽咧，係希望達到一神秘嘅力量。So he had very much mystic power. 咁呢個 Durvasa 咧就有好多嘅呢啲咁樣嘅係神秘力量嘅。Usually yogis are always angry. 通常嚟講，瑜伽師佢哋好嬲嘅喎。If they are a little bit irritated, they will curse everyone. 咁如果佢哋有少少咧，你激嬲咗佢嘅話咧，佢會詛咒每一個人嘅。So in this way, Durvasa Muni came and he told him, "Please sit down and take prasada." 咁又係咁樣嘅時候咧，Durvasa就嚟到啦。咁國王就同佢講話：請你坐低啦，去榮耀呢個 prasada。He said, "1 minute, I will go to the river, take bath, and I will chant my mantras." 佢話咧：等一等先，等我去河中沐浴。咁樣河中沐完之後咧，我就會念我個曼陀㗎啦。So he went there. 就係咁樣，佢就去咗河邊沐浴。He took bath. 喺嗰度沐浴啦。And he was chanting his mantra. 咁就咁樣嘅時候咧，佢唱咗個曼陀羅啦。But at that time, what happened? 咁但係當時發生咗咩嘢咧？ The king was very worried because Param, the time for breaking the fast, was going to come to an end. 當時國王好擔心，因為咧破禁食嗰個時間咧，而家咧已經係接近呢個尾聲嘅時候啦。And if he didn't break it at the particular time, then this will be offense for Ekadashi Devi, for Bhakti Devi.
如果佢唔喺個適當時候破呢個禁食嘅話咧，就會對呢個 Ekadashi 女神 Bhakti Devi 咧構成一個極大嘅冒犯嘅。
So he asked his ministers and advisors, "What should I do?"
咁佢問佢呢啲咁樣嘅係即係首相啊等等啦，嗰啲勸告佢嘅人，佢應該點做咧
I don't want to make offense to the king, to the Muni, to the Brahmin.
佢話首先嚟講咧，我又唔想冒犯咗呢個聖人喎。
But also I don't want to disrespect Bhakti Devi.
但同一個時候咧，我亦都唔想咧嚟到去不尊重呢個 Bhakti Devi。
So in this way he said, the minister said, "Well, if you drink one drop of water."
咁啲首相就同佢咁樣講，佢話咧，如果你能夠咧飲一滴嘅水嘅話咧，
You're like breaking the Ekadashi, but at the same time you're not breaking.
呢個就等於咧你既破咗呢個禁食，但係亦都並冇破到呢個禁食。
So you're not really disrespecting the Brahmin because you're not eating, just taking one drop of water.
咁樣嘅時候，你既冇去唔尊重呢個聖人啦，因為你只係飲咗一滴水啫嘛。
So he said, okay, he took the drop of water.
佢就聽咗之後咧，佢就飲咗一滴水。
And in this moment, the sage, the Brahmin who was in the river, he immediately at once knew.
咁喺嗰一刻嘅時候咧，嗰個喺河邊沐浴嗰個聖人，佢立即知道佢國王飲咗一滴水。
He noticed this is the Vedic internet system.
咁呢個就係偉達嘅呢個咁樣嘅呢個叫上網嗰個嘅咁樣嘅系統啊。
That Vaishnavas and yogis and these personalities know everything at once.
咁就係譬如奉獻者 Vaishnava 或者啲瑜伽師嚟講咧，佢哋有呢種咁樣嘅咧神通啊，任何嘢佢哋可以即時知道嘅。
So in this way, he came quickly to the palace where the king was.
就係咁樣嘅時候咧，佢就好快咧嚟到呢個皇宮嗰處啦，嗰個嘅係皇宮嗰處，嗰個國王嘅皇宮嗰度。
And he became very angry.
咁呢個瑜伽師佢變得好嬲啦。
He was furious.
佢直情咧係大怒啊！
He was yelling at the Brahmin, at the king.
咁佢大聲喺度咧係責罵鬧呢個咁嘅國王。
He says, "You're a hypocrite. You're not a Vaishnava."
佢話咧你係好虛偽嘅人，你並唔係一個奉獻者嚟嘅。
You don't know how to honor the Brahmins.
你一啲都唔識得點樣曉得咧點去榮耀啊，去榮耀啲。
You have no respect for Brahmins.
你啲婆羅門一啲都唔尊重。
I will destroy you.
我會咧消滅咗你嘅。
And he pulled one dreadlock of his hair, one jyoti, pulled it.
咁佢咧從佢嘅頭髮捲嗰處咧就掹咗條頭髮出嚟。
And immediately a demoness called Kritya, a fire demoness, manifested.
咁立即時咧有個女嘅惡魔叫 Kritya 咧，就從呢個火嘅女，呢個係嗰個火嘅女惡魔就出現啦。
He manifested this demoness to kill the king.
佢展示咗呢個惡魔想去殺呢個國王。
But immediately came a Sudarshan chakra, a disc, and destroyed the demoness.
咁但係即時咧嚟咗個慧觀神雕啊，將呢個咁樣女惡魔咧即時就殺死咗佢嘅。
And when the fire demoness came, Ambarish Maharaj, the king, he just stood with his folded hands, praying to Lord, "Lord, it is whatever you desire. If you desire for me to die, this is whatever you want. If you desire me to live, so be it. Whatever you like." 當
呢個女火嘅惡魔咧要殺呢個國王嘅時候，國王只係當時咧佢好雙手合十咧企住喺處，佢話：哦主啊，如果呢個願望你要殺我嘅話咧，讓我死去啦；如果你要保護我，讓我繼續生存落去，呢個係你嘅慾望嚟嘅，呢個係一切嚟嘅。
So in this way, the king was very surrendered to God's will.
而主嘅時候咧，呢個國王係非常之係歸依咗咧俾神嘅意願嘅。
But the Brahmin, the Muni, Durvasa Muni, when the chakra came,
但係嗰個時候，當呢個神蝶衝住去殺呢個聖人嘅時候咧，
he went running very fast.
咁佢當時咧係飛奔咁去逃命嘅。
And he saw that the chakra was following him everywhere.
咁佢甚至乎可以見到咧呢個神蝶咧緊緊去跟隨住佢嘅。
And it wanted to destroy him.
呢個神蝶咧而家咧想去消滅佢嘅。
And he would go everywhere, all the planetary systems, but the chakra was always following him.
佢走勻去每一個星球體系咧，呢個神蝶咧步步咁緊跟住佢嘅。
So what he did, he didn't know where to go anymore for shelter.
咁後面到最後尾嘅時候咧，佢都唔知我要去到邊度先可以得到庇護啦。
So he decided to go to Brahma.
咁佢就決定咧去見呢個宇宙嘅創造主叫 Brahma。
And when he arrived to Brahma, he said, Brahma, please help me. This chakra is following me everywhere.
咁當去到 Brahma 跟前嘅時候，佢同 Brahma 講 ：Brahma 請你幫我啦！呢個神蝶咧緊緊食住跟住我先，大家閂一閂手機，唔好再開手機，好唔好？
And he found.
咁佢發現到咧，
He said,
佢話咧，
actually,
事實上咧，
I am just a servant of Krishna.
佢話 Brahma 佢話我只不過係 Krishna 嘅一個僕人嚟嘅啫。
And Krishna, with only one little movement of his eyebrow,
而 Krishna 嚟講咧，佢只需要稍微咧係嚟到輕輕嘅咁咧抬起佢個眼眉啫。
he can destroy the whole universe.
佢可以將整個宇宙咁樣呢一個咁簡單嘅舉動咧，將整個宇宙都毀滅咗。
So, I'm also destroyed when he destroys the universe.
同時啊，當佢毀滅一個宇宙嘅時候咧，我亦都同時咧都係被毀滅㗎啦。
So I cannot do anything.
所以因為呢個緣故咧，我幫你唔到。
So then he went running, continued searching for shelter. He went to Lord Shiva.
後尾咧，佢一路咁樣
Mahadev.
走到去呢個思維神 Mahadev 大神明嗰度啦。
And he told him, please help me, I beg of you, I need your help.
佢話咧我懇求你，請你幫我啦咁樣。
And he said, my dear Durvasa Muni, I am also a servant. I have no power. I cannot help you.
咁思維神亦都係咁樣講，佢話我亦都只不過係個僕人嚟嘅啫，我幫你唔到。
I have no power over this chakra.
咁對於呢個神碟嚟講咧，我係無能為力啦。
But please, I'm begging you, please go. It's getting very hot here with this chakra.
佢同佢咁樣講，佢話請你快啲走啦，因為咧呢個神碟咁接近我嘅時候咧，而搞到我都好熱啊。
So in this way, he continued looking, where can I go? He said, I suggest you go to Vishnu.
咁佢話咧，佢問思維神咧，佢話咧咁你俾個建議俾我啦。咁不如思維神就話咁啊，不如咧你真係等住 Vishnu 啦。
So he went to Vishnu. 就係咁樣嘅時候咧，
佢就去咗 Vishnu 嗰度啦。
And what happened is that he asked Vishnu, my dear Lord, thank you. Please help me.
咁佢就去到咧係問主 Vishnu， 佢話：親愛嘅主啊，請你幫我啦咁樣。
This chakras follow me everywhere.
咁呢個神碟咧緊跟住去到每一處地方。
So then he said,
然之後佢就咁樣講啦。
Iham bhakta paradino hi asvatantra iva dvija sadhupigrasta hridaya bhaktar janapriya. He said, my dear Brahmin.
咁主 Vishnu 咧就同呢個婆羅門咁樣講，佢話：親愛嘅婆羅門喎。
Paradino. He asvatantra. He said, I am not independent.
Paradino 即係話佢話我並非獨立嘅。
I completely depend on my devotee.
我係完全咧要依靠我個奉獻者嘅，主咁樣講。
Vishnu is telling himself, I cannot control this chakra.
主 Vishnu 佢自己咁樣講，佢話咧我係控制唔到呢個神碟嘅。
I'm not independent.
我並非獨立嘅。
I'm completely under the control of my devotee.
我係完全在我奉獻者嘅控制之下。
The devotee lives only in my heart.
奉獻者主係住喺我內心裏邊。
And I live only in the heart of my devotee.
而與此同時，我亦都只係住喺咧奉獻者嘅心裏邊嘅。
And what to speak of my devotees?
唔好講話我嘅奉獻者啊。
The devotees of my devotees, bhaktar, janapriyaha. The followers and devotees of my devotees are very dear to me.
唔好講話我嘅奉獻者對我嚟講係好重要啦，甚至乎係我嘅奉獻者嘅奉獻者啊，對我嚟講咧都係咁親愛嘅。
So he said, the devotees have left their Daragara Putrakta, their houses, their sons, their wives, their children, their life, everything they have given up for the sake of worshipping me, of serving me.
佢話我嘅奉獻者咧，為咗係服務我同埋崇拜我嘅緣故咧，佢哋放棄咗佢哋嘅家庭咧，放棄佢哋妻子啊、兒女啊，一切嘅嘢咧，只係為咗崇拜服務我嘅緣故咧，佢哋放棄晒所有呢啲一切嘅嘢。
So he says, so in this way, how can I not help and be enthusiastic to help them?
咁所以由此嘅時候咧，我點能夠係唔會好熱切、好踴躍咧，去幫我啲奉獻者咧？
So he said, I suggest you go to Ambarish Maharaj.
所以我建議咧，你去呢個安巴利沙大軍嗰度啦。
And he went back to the king.
咁佢就咁樣嘅時候咧，佢就走翻去個國王嗰度啦。
And then the king was still standing for 1 year.
但係當時嘅國王而家只係原地站立咗整1年嘅時間。
Ambarish Maharaj was such a pure devotee.
Ambarish 咧係一位咁純粹嘅奉獻者。
That he was standing with folded hands praying, begging to Darshan Chakra, please don't kill him, please don't kill him, please don't kill him.
佢企喺度整整1年時間喺度祈禱啦，求呢個為官神殿咧，佢話你唔好殺呢個瑜伽師啦，請你唔好殺佢啦。
This is the description of a pure devotee.
咁呢個係一個純粹奉獻者嘅描述。
Even they're trying to kill him.
縱使對方嘗試咗去殺佢啦，
They try to harm him.
佢哋嘗試去傷下佢。
What is he doing?
佢到翻人去做咩嘢咧？
Is he telling, don't go to him, don't kill him, or having so much anger mood against?
佢係咪話對方咧有呢個好憤怒嘅心緒啊，或者殺翻佢轉頭咧咁樣咧？
Does he try to kill him also?
佢有冇話嘗試咧殺翻佢轉頭咧？
Like they say, if a dog is barking, are you going to bark back?
譬如有隻狗吠你嘅時候，你會唔會吠翻隻狗咧？
If a dog bites you, you're going to go and bite the dog.
隻狗咬咗你之後，你唔知係咬嗰隻狗一啖咧？
This is the nature of dog.
如果你咁樣嘅話，呢個係狗嘅本性嚟㗎。
Dog can only bark
狗只能夠去吠
and bite.
同埋去咬啫。
So in the same way,
所以同樣咧，
Ambarish Maharaj, what did he do?
安巴利沙呢個國王，佢當時佢點做咧？
The Brahmin made a demoness to kill him.
咁先前咧呢個咁樣嘅係聖人啊，瑜伽師咧揾咗個女惡魔上嚟殺佢。
He tried to destroy him.
佢嘗試消滅咗呢個國王。
But the Lord Himself protected him.
但係我哋知道咧，主親自咧去保護咧呢位國王。
He destroyed with the chakra this demoness.
主咧用呢個為官神殿咧將呢個女惡魔係消滅咗㗎。
But the king Ambarish, he wasn't going here and there running for salvation for help.
但係咧呢個咁樣嘅國王咧，佢並冇咧四處咁逃命啊，嚟到咧希望咧得到救贖啊，或者呢個保護。
He surrendered to God.
佢係完全嘅歸依俾神嘅。
And he said, wherever you want, God, whatever is your will, I will accept.
佢話咧主啊，無論咩係你嘅心意嘅話咧，我都會接受。
So then the rishi, after 1 year of going here and there everywhere,
咁呢個聖人咧，佢被追殺咗整整1年嘅時間之後咧，四處咁樣逃命啊。
Ambarish Maharaj stayed in one place, he didn't move.
但係呢個國王反之咧，佢只係站立喺一處地方，喐都冇喐到。
For 1 year he was praying for not to kill his enemy.
整整1年嘅時間，佢喺度祈禱，佢話唔好再去殺呢個敵人。
But he never saw him like his enemy.
但係意思嚟講咧，其實咧佢永遠咧佢都冇睇對方係一個敵人嚟嘅。
Because he's a Shuddha Bhakta.
因為佢係一個純粹嘅奉獻者。
A pure devotee only sees the qualities in all.
咁咧，所以咧一個純粹奉獻者咧，只係見到對方見到人裏邊嘅好嘅品質嘅啫。
This is actually the characteristic of a Vaishnava.
事實上，原來呢個咧就係一個 Vaishnava 一個奉獻者嘅特性嚟嘅。
Vaishnava only sees the qualities of all.
一個奉獻者咧，只係咧見到一切人嘅優點嘅。
So in this way, he was praying, don't kill him.
就係由咁樣嘅時候咧，佢喺度祈禱，佢話唔好殺佢啦。
Therefore, Vishnu himself said, I am not independent.
所以咧，主 Vishnu 自己親自咁樣講嘅話咧，我係並非獨立嘅。
I cannot even control this chakra. I am dependent on my devotee.
我咧唔能夠控制呢一個咁嘅神碟嘅，我係咧要依靠我個奉獻者嘅。
So in this way,
如此嘅時候咧，
what happened is that
發生咩嘅事情咧？
the Muni, Durvasa Muni,
呢個聖人係 Durvasa Muni 啊，
he saw the greatness of the king.
佢可以睇到呢個國王偉大之處啦。
He understood he had done aparad.
佢明白到我自己做咗呢個冒犯。
And he actually fell at his feet.
事實上咧，佢係五體投地倒咗呢個國王跟前，
And begged for forgiveness.
乞求呢個國王咧原諒佢嘅。
But because Ambarish Maharaj was a pure Vaishnava,
但係因為 Ambarish 咧係一個純粹嘅奉獻者，
he actually felt so embarrassed when he saw the Brahmin fall at his feet.
當佢見到呢位婆羅門頂咗佢跟前嘅時候嚟講咧，佢感覺到十分嘅尷尬。
Please, no, why do you do this? You're Brahmin, I'm just king. Kings are just like, they're only rulers, they're warriors. We are worshipping the Brahmins. Please don't come to my feet.
咁
Please don't.
佢話咧，你唔好埋嚟啦，因為你婆羅門咧係社會階層嚟講，你高過我哋㗎，我哋只係國王，國王咧好似係啲戰士咁樣，我哋會崇拜啲婆羅門㗎，請你唔好啦，唔好啦。
So in this way, he said, please, I beg of you, please just sit down and take prasada.
所以咧，我請求你，請你淨係坐低去食 prasada 就得啦。
For 1 year, he didn't eat.
佢自己本身國王成1年嘅時間都冇食到嘢。
He was waiting for him to come back.
佢等住咧呢個咁嘅瑜伽師翻嚟。
And then he asked him, please sit down and take prasada.
然之後佢就咧請求佢，請你坐低咧，你都去食 prasada。
Then when he saw the glory of this pure Vaishnava,
咁佢當佢見到呢個純粹嘅奉獻者嘅榮耀嘅時候咧
who has not even one drop of envy,
佢裏邊嚟講咧，一點一滴嘅妒忌都冇㗎，
not one drop of resentful mood,
一啲咧絲毫咧都冇呢種反感嘅心水。
not one drop of trying to take revenge,
佢講：兒子啊，兒子啊，請你翻嚟啦，請你翻嚟啦。
but only the trees responded in the echo calling of the Father.
但係咧，唯一回答佢嘅父親呢個嘅呼應嘅係咩？只不過啲樹喺度回應，啲回音啊咁樣傳翻嚟。
So Shukadeva Goswami was completely absorbed. He went to the forest naked. He was walking. He didn't even know. He didn't care. He was naked, not naked. He's not even at all conscious of any external thing.
咁蘇基呢個雙面就係咁樣啦，一出世就冇自出娘胎之後咧，已經年青人咁樣赤身露體，佢係完全冇覺到冇知覺到自己究竟有着衫冇着衫，已經完全呆咗嘢咧，佢一啲咧都唔再知覺住㗎啦。
And he went to the forest, and the father says, "How can I bring him back? I need to bring him back."
咁佢後尾去咗森林裏邊咧，佢父親就咁樣諗啦：我仔咁就走咗去，我點樣可以咧嗌到佢翻嚟咧？咁樣。
So actually,
咁事實上咧。
it is not that Gurudev explains that it's not that he was attached to his son. Oh, you're my son, where are you?
咁佢呢就解釋到佢並非話唯有實咧依附佢個仔話你係我仔，你係我仔，咁你要翻嚟，佢唔係咁嘅意思嘅唯有實。
He's actually thinking that it's very difficult to find a disciple so qualified like him.
然後佢諗住咧喺世界上面好難揾到一個咧咁深具資格嘅，好似 Sukadeva Goswami咁樣嘅門徒啊。
Because we're all very proud to say, "Oh, my Guru is a Mahabhagavat. My Guru is a Mahabhagavat. My Guru is the best Guru. My Guru is the best. My Guru is Uttam Uttam."
咁我哋作為門徒咧，我哋自己都知道好多時候咧，我哋好中意同人哋出去話，我 Guru 係最至高無上的馬哈巴嘅話頂班嘅 Guru 係真㗎呢個嚇。
But the point is, we have to become perfect disciples too.
但係咧，另一個重點就係話咧，我哋自己本身咧都要成為一個完美嘅門徒先得㗎。
It's not only to have the best guru, but we have to become first-class disciples.
所以咧，淨係有一個咧最偉大嘅靈性導師咁係唔足夠嘅，我哋自己本身咧都要成為咧一流嘅門徒啊。
Otherwise, we're losing all the potency that Gurudev has come to give.
不然嘅時候咧，我哋就失去咗咧 Gurudev 所要到嚟嘅時候咧，所俾我哋嘅所有嘅能量。
Gurudev said, if you surrender this much to Gurudev, this much,
Gurudev 講到啦，佢話咧，如果你歸依俾 Gurudev 咁多嘅話咧，
this much I will give mercy.
我就會俾咁多嘅恩賜俾你。
If you surrender everything all to Guru,
如果你將一切所有嘅全部俾咗 Guru 嘅話
Guru will give you everything.
Guru 就會將一切所有嘅全部俾晒你。
So in this way, then Vyasadeva was thinking, he is such a qualified disciple, I cannot find a disciple like him.
咁所以其實咧，韋達實當時嘅心裏面嘅諗咧，佢哋就係話咧，我揾唔到一個好似 Sukadeva 咁樣嘅咁完美嘅門徒啊。
So he thought how to get him back.
咁佢就去做一個計劃啦，就係話點樣可以揾到個仔，佢啲門徒翻嚟咧。
So like a hunter goes to hunt a deer.
譬如有陣時咧，一個嘅獵人啊，如果佢出去森林裏面狩獵去捕捉啲鹿嘅時候咧，
He asked one person, "You please go and look for him to the forest."
咁韋達實就話佢同一個人講，佢話咧，你譬如去森林裏邊，你會去揾我仔翻嚟啦。
And I want you to chant this sloka to him.
我想咧，你去到森林嘅時候咧，你要唱出呢個詩節嘅。
And when you chant this sloka,
當你唱呢個詩節嘅時候咧，
the sloka is actually saying, "Oh, how merciful is Krishna."
咁呢個詩節嘅大意就係話咧，Krishna 佢係幾咁嘅仁慈嘅。
That although Putana came and tried to kill him,
雖然有呢個女惡魔咧，普坦拿到嚟咧，嘗試想去殺佢啦。
she put poison on her breast.
普坦拿喺佢自己嘅係乳頭嗰處咧，係塗上呢一個咁樣嘅係毒液啊。
But Krishna is so merciful.
但係 Krishna 佢係咁恩慈嘅。
That because
就係咧，
she was pretending to be a mother.
因為普坦拿佢嘗試咧扮到好似 Krishna 嘅媽媽咁樣。
He did not see, oh, she's trying to kill me, but rather, oh, she's trying to be a mother.
咁 Krishna 嘅睇法就係話，佢唔係話睇到佢純粹嚟到係去想去殺我，佢只係睇到佢想做我媽媽。
And he killed her and liberated her and gave her the position of a mother in Golok Vrindavan.
咁Krishna 就殺咗佢啦，解脫咗佢啦，甚至乎俾咗佢最後咧終極嘅目的咧，告到佢變大，跟住係俾佢做佢一個母親嘅地位。
So he says, how merciful is Krishna.
咁呢個詩詞嘅意思就係話呢位嘅 Krishna 佢係幾咁嘅恩慈嘅。
So when he recited that verse, he automatically fall in bhav. He starts experiencing all symptoms of prema in his body.
咁當 Sukadeva Goswami 聽到呢個詩詞嘅時候咧，自動立即咧佢進入咗呢個狂喜裏邊啦，就顯示晒所有呢啲純粹嘅愛嘅徵兆。
And he said, who told you this verse?
咁佢同呢啲人講，佢話你係邊一個講呢個詩詞俾你知嘅？
So he says, come, I'll bring you to the person that gave me this verse.
咁佢話你跟住我哋啦，我會帶你走去見咧嗰個教我呢個詩詞嗰個人嘅。
And in this way he brought him back to Vyasadeva.
就係咁樣嘅時候咧，呢個獵人就將佢咧 Sukadeva Goswami 咧帶翻去咧見 Vyasadeva 佢爸爸。
Then Vyasadeva explained many things to him.
然之後 Vyasadeva 就向佢咧解釋好多嘢啦。
So one time,
咁有一回咧。
there was a king.
有一個國王。
And this king,
呢個國王咧
his name is Parikshit Maharaj.
國王名字叫巴力治大君。
He's going in the forest.
佢入咗森林裏邊啦。
To hunt.
去狩獵嘅。
And he is the king of the world.
佢當時係整個世界嘅國王嚟嘅。
Of India in that time.
喺當時印度嘅地方嘅國王。
And when he goes to the forest, he becomes very, very thirsty and hungry.
咁當佢去到呢個森林狩獵嘅時候，呢個國王突然之間變得非常之係即係又肚餓啦，又口渴。
He sees a Brahmin.
佢後面見到一個婆羅門喺度。
Who is sitting in deep meditation.
咁呢個婆羅門咧就好深坐住喺處咧，入咗好深嘅samadhi冥想裏邊。
So he asked him, please, I want you to give me water. I'm very thirsty. Please give me water. Please give me water.
佢同呢個聖人咁樣講我好口渴，快啲俾啲水我飲，俾啲水我飲。
He said, well, he didn't say anything. He was in deep meditation.
咁呢個嘅即係聖人坐住喺處打坐冥想，一句説話都冇回應佢。
But the king was very offended.
但係個國王咧深深感到咧好大嘅冒犯。
He thinks he's neglecting me.
佢以為咧呢個咁嘅聖人咧而家咧係去忽略佢、忽視佢。
He doesn't want to give me water or food. He's pretending he is in meditation, but he's just neglecting me.
國王就諗住咧，對方只係咧扮到喺度打坐冥想啦，同埋咧佢又唔俾水，又唔俾食物我食啊，唔俾水我飲，只係扮喺度打坐冥想。
So he became very angry and he put a snake on his shoulder like a garland.
咁佢就好嬲啦，然之後咧就挑起一條蛇咧，好似個花環咁樣咧，放喺佢嗰個膊頭上面。
And in that moment,
喺嗰刻嘅時候咧
many kilometers a distance away,
好多公里以外啊
his little son called Shringi Rishi,
咁咧佢一個兒子咧叫 Shringi 咧就佢個仔叫 Shringi
Shringi Rishi, a little boy, 5-year-old.
呢個聖人有個仔咧大概5歲咁大嘅。
He knew that his father had been dishonored by wearing a dead snake around the neck.
咁佢立即知道咧，佢嘅父親咧係俾一條死蛇咧嬲住喺呢個頸上面咧，咁樣受到呢個冒犯。
So in this way, he became furious, the boy.
Shringi 咧就怒不可遏啦。
And Gurudev was describing one time about there was one scientist.
咁 Gurudev 有一次佢解釋到有一個科學家。
That asked Gurudev about the technology of science, of internet, for example, that in 1 second you can connect to the other side of the world immediately.
咁佢咧就呢個科學家同 Gurudev 討論就講起關於科技上嘅嘢咧，就係話咧，咁你可以上網一秒鐘之間咧，整個地球另一端嘅嘢你都可以即刻知道。
So he asked, this Vedic, if there anything similar to this in the Vedas? The Vedas asked, can it be so advanced like the technology of today?
咁呢個科學家就問 Gurudev 啦，究竟偉大經典裏邊咧有冇一啲咁先進嘅科技嘅咧咁樣？
So Gurudev told this story.
Gurudev 就講咗呢個故事俾佢知。
About Parikshit Maharaj.
關於呢個國王巴利治大君嘅故事。
And about the little boy that cursed. 同埋關於咧呢個咧小朋友呢個 Shringi 呢個去詛咒呢個小朋友。He said immediately the boy knew. 佢話呢個白男仔即刻只可以知道嘅。And he cursed the king that in 7 days a flying serpent would come and bite him. 咁佢咧就喺嗰刻嘅時候咧，呢個男仔咧 Shringi 就話佢話咧，我詛咒一條飛蛇咧會咬死呢個國王。So Gurudev explains that within minutes. 佢哋講咗1分鐘之內啊。 not only all the rishis and all the sages knew,
佢話咧唔單止啊，宇宙裏面所有啲聖哲賢人都知道。
but they were all gathered, even hundreds of kilometers distance, they were all gathered in one place. 88,000 rishis were gathered, and Parikshit Maharaj, he sat down and he started, Sukadeva Goswami was sitting down there and he started to speak all the Bhagavatam.
咁就係咁短時間之內咧，1分鐘之內咧，宇宙裏邊咧四方八面咧有總共係88000嘅呢啲咁樣嘅係聖哲賢人齊集一個地方啦，嚟到坐低喺樹咧，然之後等呢個 Sukadeva Goswami嚟到咧開始去講説聖典布加瓦塔。
When they put the dead snake in the father of the Brahmin,
咁當佢哋呢個嘅係即係將個國王將條死蛇放喺呢個咁樣嘅婆羅門啊嘅頸上面嘅時候咧。
his son, this boy, he knew it. Immediately he cursed, and all the rishis within minutes, not only they knew, they were gathered all there together.
咁佢嗰個嘅男仔就首先詛咒呢個咁樣嘅國王啦，咁其次咧，宇宙裏面四方八面啲婆羅門，佢哋唔單止知道呢個消息，甚至會即時咁嚟到去到嗰個現場嗰度啊，去到嗰個地方嗰度咧聚集嘅。
There's no telegram, no telephone.
當時又冇電話咧，亦都冇電訊。
So Gurudev told the scientist,
古呢就講俾呢個科學家知道。
just see our internet Vedic system.
佢話我哋睇下當時咧呢個咁樣嘅電訊嘅系統啊，上網。
So in this way,
如此嘅時候
immediately the king was cursed
就係個國王咧嗰刻咧即時受呢個詛咒，
by the little boy.
俾呢個小朋友詛咒佢。
And he was the king of the world.
國王本身當時係整個世界嘅國王嚟嘅。
Parikshit Maharaj.
佢名字叫巴力治大君。
So he became very restless.
咁巴力治佢當時變得係好不安啦。
But not restless because, oh, my kingdom, my wives, all my queens, oh, all my property, all my jewels. No, not for this. He did.
佢不安嘅原因唔係話因為我國土啊、我妻子啊、我皇后啊、我兒女啊、我物業啊等等嘅嘢，唔係呢個原因。
So just like one passed through without even looking back.
咁就好似正如有時候咧，如果你完洗手間大便之後咧，你望都唔望你就走咗去㗎啦。
He left his kingdom like if it was stool.
咁個國王亦都係咁樣，好似咧佢視國土啊而糞土咁樣就離開咗呢個國家啦。
He had no attachment for any of the things he had in his kingdom.
呢個國王對於佢自己國土裏邊所有任何嘢咧，一啲嘅依附都冇嘅。
He said, "Where can I hear Hari Katha?"
佢嘅問題就係只係話，我喺邊一處都可以聽到 Hari Katha 咧。
I have 7 days to become perfected.
而家我只係剩翻7日時間咧，俾我嚟到達到完美。
Only 7 days.
只有7天嘅時間。
So he went to the forest, and there was sitting the seat where Sukadeva Goswami, which was the parrot. Remember the parrot? He came in the boom. He came out. He went walking.
咁呢個咧就喺嗰個森林裏邊有個座位俾呢個講者坐低嘅。咁記唔記得我哋剛才個鸚鵡 Sukadeva Goswami 啦？佢咧當時就行到嗰個地方度啦。
And in this way, he sits down. The king goes and sits at the feet of Sukadeva Goswami. 就係咁樣嘅時候 ，Sukadeva Goswami 首先坐低，咁然之後國王巴力治就去到嗰處咧，就坐咗咧喺 Sukadeva Goswami 嘅跟前嗰度。 And he starts speaking all the knowledge to Parikshit Maharaj.
咁 Sukadeva Goswami 就將所有嘅知識咧向巴力治大君咧去講説。
In answers and questions, questions and answers.
佢哋嘅模式係一問一答咁樣嘅形式嘅。
So this is actually Srimad Bhagavatam is this.
咁事實上聖典布加瓦塔就係咁樣噶啦。
In this moment, Parikshit Maharaj starts to narrate all the stories to Parikshit Maharaj.
咁喺嗰刻嘅時候咧 ，Sukadeva Goswami 咧向巴力治大君咧去講述到所有嘅逍遙時光。
And when he culminates in, so he tells at 7 days, then he comes to the highest. He explains all of Leela of Krishna.
咁佢係去到第7天嘅之後咧，佢講晒所有 Krishna 逍遙時光。
He become completely perfected.
佢變得完全嘅完美啦。
So then, after 7 days, came the snake, the flying snake.
咁喺第7天之後咧，呢條飛蛇鳥咧就飛咗嚟啦。
Which is going to bite him.
將會咧嚟到去咬呢個嘅國王。
But actually, we are transcendental spiritual body, Siddha Deha, and the snake can never bite this body.
但係咧，嗰條蛇咧 可以咬，就咬唔到呢個超然身體叫Siddha Deha就咬唔到。
So the snake came, but he had already became perfected and liberated at that moment.
咁但係佢當條蛇到嚟嘅時候，你講嗰刻嘅時候咧，佢已經係達到完美同埋解脫咗㗎啦。
So in this way, this is the way the story of Bhagavatam starts.
咁由此嘅時候咧，博伽安談嘅故事咧就係由咁樣去開始嘅。
So we were talking about the different bhaktas.
剛才我哋講咗由今朝到而家講咗3類唔同嘅奉獻者啦。
We spoke about the Jnani Bhakta and Shuddha Bhakta, and now we will speak about the Premi Bhakta.
咁我哋講到咧就係 Jnani Bhakta 咧，知道神嘅賦予嘅知識嘅奉獻者啦 ，Shuddha Bhakta 純粹奉獻者啦。而家咧我哋講第4類奉獻者叫 Premi Bhakta。
This Premi Bhakta is Hanuman.
呢個 Premi Bhakta 對神純粹嘅愛嘅奉獻者叫 Hanuman。
He is the eternal associate of Ramachandra.
咁 Hanuman 咧佢係主 Ramachandra 嘅永恆嘅同友嚟嘅。
And he is actually has so much love for Ramachandra.
事實上咧，佢對佢嘅主咧係 Ramachandra 咧有極多嘅愛㗎。
Actually, he is Siddha, perfect.
事實上咧，Hanuman 咧佢係 Siddha， 佢係咧完美㗎啦。
He doesn't have to do sadhana to become perfected in his spiritual body.
佢唔需要咧嚟到做呢個靈性嘅修習咧，sadhana 咧嚟到係處於佢個靈性嘅身體裏邊。
But rather, he is a nitya parikar, an eternal associate of the Lord.
咁反之嚟講咧，佢係叫 nitya parikar， 即係咧佢係只專注一個永恆嘅同友嚟嘅。
He has his eternal spiritual body.
佢已經有咗佢個永恆嘅靈性身體㗎啦。
He has so much love for Ramachandra.
佢對主 Ramachandra 咧有極多嘅愛嘅。
But his mood of service is he's servant. His mood of God is my master, and I am his obedient and subordinate servant.
咁佢嘅心水就係話咧，神係我主人嚟嘅，而我係佢咧從屬嘅，同埋咧呢個服從嘅一個僕人嚟嘅。
So in this way, he serves Ram.
就係咁樣嘅時候，哈利文就係咁樣去服務佢嘅主 Ram。
Full of Aishwarya and opulence.
亦都係充滿住咧呢種咁樣嘅莊嚴同埋富裕嘅心水嘅。
So he serves him in the way that he, for example, but he has so much Aishwarya with him that he would never ever eat from the same plate than Ram.
咁但係咧，佢對主咧呢個 Ram 咧有好多嘅呢種咁樣恭敬嘅心水啦。譬如咧，佢永遠唔會咧即係同主 Ram 平起平坐同一個碟咁食嘢嘅。
He will never ever sleep in the same bed as Ram.
亦都唔會同 Ram 咧瞓埋喺同一張床上面。
He will never sit in the same seat as Ram.
亦都永遠唔會同主 Ram 咧坐喺同一張台上面、一張凳上面嘅。
He will never like pat on the shoulder of Ram and make jokes with him.
亦都唔會拍下 Ram 嘅膊頭啊，同佢開玩笑咁樣嘅。
He has so much reverence and respect for him.
佢對 Ram 咧有好多嘅尊重喺度嘅。
This is Premi Bhakta.
呢一種叫 Premi Bhakta 啦。
So one time he saw Sita.
咁有一次咧，哈利文見到主 Ram 嘅永恆伴侶 Sita。
She's putting kurkum in her head.
佢見到主 Ram 咧將一啲紅粉啊，啲紅粉咧就放喺自己頭頂嗰度。
Red kurkum.
係紅色嘅紅粉。
And Hanuman asked, "Why are you doing this?"
咁哈利文就問 Sita 啦，佢話：你咁樣做係為咩原因咁樣做咧？
He says, "Because this will increase the life of Ramachandra."
咁 Sita 嘅回答就係話咧：如果你個妻子咧點樣喺上面嘅時候咧，可以增長個丈夫嘅壽命嘅喎。
So in this way, one time there was a big assembly with all the kings, Ramachandra sitting there.
咁有一次就咁樣嘅時候，有一次咧有一班嘅聖人啦，就同埋主 Ramachandra 坐喺個集會裏邊。
So there comes Hanuman enters the room.
然之後哈利文就入咗呢個房間裏邊啦。
And he's completely red all his body, full of kumkum everywhere.
佢個身體由頭去到腳咧，每一個部分全部咧都鋪滿咗呢個咧紅粉啊，空嘅。
And everybody's laughing and laughing. What is this, Hanuman?
咁每個人都喺度笑啦。啊，哈利文你搞咩嘢啊？點解你全身咁多紅粉嘅咧？咁樣。
What happened?
發生咩事啊？咁樣。
And he said, well, Sita said if I put a little bit, it will increase Ramachandra's life. So I want to put all over my body so Ramachandra lives forever.
咁咧，哈利文嘅回答就係話咧 ，Sita 即係點少少上去額頭上面咧，就可以增加 Ram 嗰個嘅壽命。咁所以咧，我想將我全身就塗滿咗呢啲粉咧，等 Ramachandra 就可以永恆咁活下去。
So in this way, he has so much love for Ram.
就係咁樣嘅時候咧，哈利文咧對 Ram 咧有好多嘅愛喺度。
So now we will stop here
而家咧今日我哋喺度停落嚟㗎。
because it's too much. I'm a little bit tired.
講咗好多啦，我自己都有少攰。
My legs hurt actually.
實際上我啲腳都好麻痹。
But tomorrow we continue with the different. We continue the levels of bhaktas.
明天咧，我哋會講到咧呢個唔同層次嘅奉獻者。
And tomorrow we will see about the 5 Pandavas.
聽日我哋會講嘅潘達亞5兄弟嘅。
And also Uddhav.
同埋咧烏達亞。
So Gaura Premanandi.
Gaura Premanandi, Hare Hare Bo.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare, okay, we sing all together. Hare Krishna.